Hello everyone, it's me, Nathan, from Nathan Gaming. How's everybody doing today? This fine morning. I'm tired. I'm tired. I am not a morning person. I've never been a morning person, but this is a challenge I am willing to accept. Ugh. But yeah, part of it is actually my own fault, actually, because I was up late last night, hanging out with a friend of mine, because they couldn't hang out with him all day for obvious reasons yesterday. So it's tiring. I'm tired. All right, I was up until 2. No, I'm sorry. That's wrong. I lied. I was actually up until 3. That's what it was. 3. I was up until 3 o'clock in the morning. Holy crap. Oh, let me tell you, it is difficult trying to wake up right now. But anyways, that's a me problem. How's everybody doing? Today we'll be playing Space Marines because I'm a Warhammer nerd and I like 40K stuff. I also like just Space Marines in general because I'm a goddamn Warhammer nerd at this point. Ugh. If I could just get my shit together for a second. Alright. I'm not sure what the audio is going to be like, because I don't know if the settings really save and carry over between different fucking between the different profiles, because I know some settings do in some games, but I'm not sure about this one, so just bear that in mind. If the game starts blasting, it shouldn't blast too hard. I have volume mixer going, and the last time I checked, I put that shit down at 25. We will not get the volume perfect, by the way, with this game. This game has the unimaginable problem, right? Of... I thought I just said no. I can't believe it asked me that twice, even though I had literally entered this thing yesterday just to decline it before. Thankfully, it uses a random profile generation thing for it, so it's not like it's gonna matter, but Christ. Ugh. And does not sound too bad, thankfully. Yep. Its volume settings are at max. Honestly, I'm not even sure if I want to touch it. I should touch it anyways. I really should. Just because. In fact, what I'll do is that I'll do this. I'll put these down at mid. And then I'll just leave the master sound volume up. This is an old game. And despite the fact this is the Master Crafted Remaster edition of the goddamn game, we will not get the cutscene / gameplay volume correct. It's impossible. I've tried this a number of times when I was playing the game. It sucks. I'm hoping that one day they'll come up with a fucking update for it, but that's, I'm probably gonna have to rely on fucking mods for that shit. I don't know how else to fix this problem. Ugh. Anyways, I am going to be releasing those Stellar Blade videos in 2 parts at some point here. And I will also be doing that reaction for the Pancreas video. Not today, but later down the line, because I do not have the time nor the patience for it right now. Alright. Start a new campaign? Yes. Oh, actually, before I do that, what was the... It should just the video quality should just be on it. Yeah, it's everything's fine. This is by far the most plain Jane looking graphic settings I've ever seen. I mean, I'm not complaining, but it's just funny. I needed to preface this, guys. They turned a several years old game, like I believe like a 20-year-old game, produced by Sega of all things. That was originally 10.7 gigabytes large into a game that is now 40 gigabytes. Alright, I need to preface this. This game is not that demanding on the hardware. And the most they really changed are UI elements. Graphically, it looks impressive. Parts of it graphically look impressive, but the game itself, it's an interesting debate. Oh, hi. Wow, that's a... I'm not used to seeing this many people watching the stream. Okay. Designation Forge World. Manufactorum Magicus. Whatever that means. Strategic value absolutes. It already sounds kind of loud. I gotta go ahead and just minimize myself a little bit here. The cutscenes look nice too. I don't remember the cutscenes looking this nice either. Secure the Titans. That is our objective. If you can hear me through the belated victory music.
Captain Titus, the Orcs have massacred the Forge World's forces. And they have taken the planetary defense weapons.
Clever of the damned Orcs. Keeps us off their backs while they loot the Titan war machine.
Brace for evasive maneuvers.
Pilot, report!
Starboard engine is dead, Sergeant. We are losing altitude.
Get the ship to safety. We'll find another way down.
Aye, Captain. Thunderhawk Lancer Jove returning to launch bay.
This is your plan.
We need to get to the surface to take out the gun battery. Or do you want to go home already, Sergeant?
Not before having a word or two with the Orcs.
Is that wise, Captain? The Codex Astartes does not support this action.
Shut the fuck up, Leandros. Ay, ay, ay. I won't say too much, obviously, for spoilers. I have played this game first when it, before Space Marines 2 came out, which is the game that got me into the franchise in the first place. But as far as, like, was I impressed by the presentation of this game that I became a fan? I wouldn't say necessarily. But this game is actually pretty fun. I'd also would recommend playing this game on controller. It feels specifically built for controller. I tried playing on keyboard and mouse controls in my own time with a friend of mine when we were doing the multiplayer, and it does not feel nearly as good. I'm also not used to the controls again. There we go. Thanks for the health.
Get off my ship, Space Marine!
So far, the audio quality doesn't seem too bad. I was having such a hard time with it in on my own time. It was crazy. Alright. Did quick work of the orcs. It's weird how some of the sound effects also sound just a little muted too. Like, I feel like the crash should have sounded a bit more bombastic, but this is an old game, and I believe the sounds were equally as muted in the original. I only replayed it a little bit for the purposes of being able to see the differences. The original, anyways.
Captain Titus, come in. Damned orcs shot me off course. I've had no word from Leandros, but I'm picking up Vox chatter from
Oh
Imperial
no,
Guard.
not Leandros.
I scarcely thought anyone would be left alive, much less still fighting.
Heading towards the front lines now.
I will meet you there.
Chapter 2 against all odds. Industrial Zone 82. So it's just a summarization. We're here to protect this Forge World planet from having its titans taken away by the orcs and then having it used against us for obvious reasons. But, yeah. That's pretty much the long and short of why we're here. As far as why specifically we're here, I think we were just in the right place at the right time for this mission.
Workers, assemble.
Caleb, there you are. The Shining brothers are saying we're under attack.
If there are other details that further expand upon this game's story, I do not know too many outside of the game's actual story.
Access authorized. The Emperor be with you.
But yeah, it's not going to be like Kadaku or Tiberium or even, whatever I can't even remember what the third planet was. Like it was in Space Marines 2. Like, this is very much a Forge world. With a lot of desert and muted colors. This was back in the time when game design favored brown color about as much as you might expect. Every game was brown back in the day. Or green, depending on your favorite type of dystopia.
Crush the Space Marines! The humans all alone!
Destroy them!
Here they come.
Nice. I say that a lot these days, don't I? That looks a little janky. We're gonna have a few of those.
Are you wounded?
The Codex Astartes warns against using jump packs to leap blindly into enemy fire, and for good reason.
Your days as a novice are behind you. Why do you still interpret the Codex so narrowly?
I looked at its rules for guidance.
We all do. But there are also benefits to thinking for yourself, Leandros.
Yeah, Leandros. Listen to Captain Titus. He's a captain for a reason.
Enemy sighted!
Damn Gretchens. More of them? I thought I heard more of them. Guess they're either dead or gone. Please give me the chainsword. I missed the chainsword.
Sedona's picked up local Imperial Guard communications. They survived under the shadow of that gun. I want to know how.
Let's see. I'm about to probably hurt myself here. What the? Oh, this is audio log. Never mind. Gameplay options, that's what I wanted. We'll up the volume a little bit, because it just sounds a little quiet. Just a little bit. Alright, we'll just go with that. I don't want to mess with settings too much. I did that a lot during the Stellar Blade gameplay, simply because I wanted to get the optimal graphics setting. I'm not doing it for this game. With sound, for fuck's sake. Hey, let's leave the Cadians alone now.
My lord, you have saved us.
Rise, guardsmen. You saved yourselves. We thought you dead.
We would be, my lord, if not for the lieutenant.
Where will we find this lieutenant?
At the front lines. Follow the trench network to the lieutenant's command bunker.
Carry on, guardsmen. We rendezvous with Sidonus.
Why does the audio seem on point?
We need
I'm not used to that.
of the gun battery.
I'm so used to fighting with the audio.
Through here, my lords. Head out the upper level and
Oh my god. That is a lot of views. Holy shit. Okay. I'm not sure what to make of that. Hi. My current views are a little different, but I'm surprised so many people tuned in all of a sudden. Jesus.
What? Only in death.
No. Get off! My legs. I can't feel my legs.
I got to see a space marine before the end.
Watch over those who fight with me.
Man, and here I thought my Stellar Blade stream was probably going to be the one to get me all the views. No, I just needed to play fucking Space Marines. It's funny how that works, but then again, I guess I am a little bit more passionate about this franchise, and I have made several reacts around it, so...
Delinquency is an affront.
There he is. Sidonus.
Sergeant, I see you found something to keep you busy.
Worry not, Captain. I've saved some orcs for you.
It sounds strangely on point.
No mistake. But typical orc behavior would be to dismantle or destroy the gun.
And certainly not use it to keep our forces at bay. There's a strategy behind it. Their leader is no fool.
This day is getting interesting.
I may have encountered the orc during our jump to the surface.
That was the orc ship I saw crash near here, I take it.
Maybe it was Dolby Atmos. Maybe the reason why the audio was so fucked up in my own time was because I was using Dolby Atmos 3D for it. That probably makes sense, actually. That actually makes more sense than it reasonably should, actually. I'll try playing the game in my own time without the Dolby Atmos for headphones active. Maybe that will help it. I was just levitating for a second. God, you gotta love that old jank. The one thing I am definitely looking forward to with this game, now that I'm back here, is the damn hammer and the jetpack. God, I love the jetpack in this game. That is the one thing that I'm kind of disappointed that they nerfed the hell out of in Space Marines 2.
Target that squig!
Oh no, the kamikaze squigs. We can't have that. No siree. Nice. Now, if you were to ask me if I thought this game was funner than Space Marines 2, I would say... it depends. I feel like this game provides a level of gameplay that's a little different, but still similar to Space Marines 2. I think both have their own sort of application when it comes to fun.
Dropship incoming!
And reloading's a bitch in this one. Yeah, there's our first Berserker type enemy. The executions are still pretty brutal. In fact, there's some executions in here that I think are far more brutal than the ones in Space Marines 2.
This side, but the door is sealed. I believe they will let us through. Imperial Guard, we are Ultramarines. Open this door.
Space Marines.
Word from the second record. Another horde of the Greenskins are headed here from the south. Damn Gretchen stuck a knife in Saul's throat 2 months ago.
Reinforce their position, hold the line, and stay alive.
Aye, Lieutenant.
Yeah, but where I feel like the chaos is more constrained in Space Marines 2, and it's certainly designed with more smoother flow of combat in mind, I definitely like the chaos of the combat in Space Marines 1. There's like an unmitigated, unfiltered level of just destruction that just I love about this game that Space Marines 2 just does not have.
Lieutenant, the scouts have returned to forward base.
How many?
2.
Damn. I sent out 10. That damn gun. We don't have the numbers to make an assault. And as you might have seen, it's shooting down all our support vessels.
That is why we are here. Leave the gun to us.
Come with me then. I should warn you, my lords. We've got a slight orc problem down here.
Was there always blood splatter on armor? I'm trying to remember. There might have been, but I really don't remember. Purity seal. Now we got our Fury mode.
What do you know of the Titans on this planet?
It's no different from the one in Space Marines 2. You'll notice that in a lot of the things that you get in this game through the campaign are all upgrades to your already existing arsenal.
It leads directly to the western gate.
As well as different weapon variations. Also, you get 4 weapons in this game instead of the standard 2, which is nice.
Get me that field manual. Stuck on bloody Forge World and not a single tech priest in sight.
I don't know if I like the choice of switching weapons with left bumper using the quick wheel and then the movement stick, but we'll ball for right now.
Not in the disease ward, Dominus. What's wrong with her?
Orc projectile to the leg.
Amputations are down the hall.
Very well, I shall have that.
We need those damn medipacks!
We're at war.
One quick trick I will definitely note is that when it comes to playing the game, if you want to avoid the animation where Titus just stops slowly to a crawl like that, just immediately jerk the stick back and then you'll just go into that. You just immediately just come out of sprint. Because that kind of gets me sometimes when I'm trying to fight through a horde of orcs and then suddenly I get stuck in animations. Anything up here? No. Okay. Hey guys, you remember when turret sections were the pinnacle of game design? As a 90s gamer, you're gonna find that a lot of the things that I say and I comment on are all dated. This game is very much like a game of its time. And that is not at all a knock on the quality. It's just a fact. There's a lot of gameplay conventions that a lot of developers used back in the day that just is a little bit strange that they hyperfixated on back then in hindsight. Nice. Keep running. Aw, don't just toss it away. God, I hate that he does that. The Stalker Bolter. The Sniper Rifle.
That's where the orcs breached the gun battery. We haven't been able to make it inside the wall. There just aren't enough of us.
You have survived this long on your own, Lieutenant. You have done well. But you are no longer alone. We will retake the gun. You will get your reinforcements.
I'll hold you to that, Captain.
Yep, just leaving to Titus.
We're heading back to the command post, Captain. Good luck.
29, 30, 34. Injured workers should seek treatment in Sector 46.
Whoa. Could barely see him through that smoke.
Orcs on the high ground.
You don't say. That smoke is going to make it a little bit more annoying. There we go. What do the D-pads do? Nothing. D-pad does literally nothing. I don't know what's used for in multiplayer, but campaign, it seems to not do much.
Just get the ship out of orbit, pilot. Lieutenant Miller, the orcs cut off our reinforcements.
Damn it. I suggest we move the unit to a more defensible position, sir.
Do it! And make sure...
God, that still looks so good. I'm gonna enjoy modding the shit out of this game personally.
We're completely out of it. Every time you kill one of the bastards, feels like a dozen take their place. She's keeping us focused.
Yeah, there's a lot of punch in the executions in this one that the other game simply just does not have. I'm noticing that as well. There's just a lot of oomph to the impact of the executions. Now, granted, though, I feel like a lot of the that comes in Space Marines too comes from the gravity hammer. Well, not the gravity hammer, but the power hammer. That shit is fun. I like the hammer in this one, but I also like the hammer in Space Marines too, even though it's slow and a bit clunky. Some might argue it also doesn't do as much damage as it should in the multiplayer in particular, but I definitely appreciate the hammer. kind of used to just always going for executions when I see them. Space Marines 2 conditioned me for that because not only do you get invincibility frames during the animations, but you just literally, in most scenarios, you get overwhelmed so easily that you need that second just to kind of recuperate and think about what you're going to do next. Whereas this one is just about non-stop brutality, and then when you need the health back, then you go for executions. But otherwise, you just murder.
Contraptions across the battlefield.
Yes!
Captain, assault support pods were dropped in this area.
Give it to me. Let's go. Yeah, let's fucking go. The jump pack.
Take to the high ground, Captain. We will deal with the orcs down here.
Feel free. The one drawback, I believe, is that at least for the campaign, you can use the bolter rifles and stalker rifles, but you just cannot reload nearly as quick because you're too busy using a melee weapon. You have to second-hand the melee weapon. Because otherwise, how else are you supposed to be able to pull off shit like this? They're dying a little too quickly for me. Alright, he's dead. Oh no, he's not. Hey, don't get away from me. He's gone. You guys got that one? I was about to say. Do not fall off. Thank you. All right. I seem to reload about as fast as I usually do. Yeah, that's just Sidonis and Leandros. Alright. Is that all of them? It looks like it. Oh, he dodged me. They really can just tank a lot of shots, can't they? And there goes the fun. Oh well.
That rock delivered the orcs right into the gun fortress.
Into the breach. As far as graphical improvements go, there's definitely a lot of graphical improvements from the original game. Lighting quality is better. Character detail is also a lot better. I know some people had interesting sort of criticisms about the coloring of the orcs, because they were originally mostly red in terms of color palette, but now they already switched them over to black for some reason, which I guess I can kind of understand why that's a little weird, but it might be due to lore reasons. I have no idea. We have to remember this game was made at a time when fun was the primary focus, and plus there wasn't so many retcons and concessions made to Warhammer. So there could be multiple reasons as to why they changed the coloring of the orcs. It might also just be because they better reflect
This fortress is swarming with orcs.
different. They better reflect differently from the rest of the cast of characters and factions, but I have no idea.
To destroy the gun.
It's really up in the air. Destroy the gun. Ah, yes, a gun that did not make it to Space Marines 2, the Vengeance Launcher. The grenade sticky launcher of this game. Well, where are going to be my first subjects to be hit by this?
Many claim facilities should expect significant delays regarding approval of deceased persons. Lockdown in effect.
Look here, Captain. Melter charges.
Put those in the right place, and this whole fortress will come down.
We could put the charge on one of the gun's shells.
Leandros, you do the chapter proud.
Remember the team honors machine gun by exceeding forward.
That's fun. All right. My boy Titus terrorizing some orcs. Yep. He certainly is. God, I miss the orcs too. I wish they came back for Space Marines too, but I understand why they had to switch them out. We need more faction variety in these games. Outside of the strategy ones anyways. I wish they did come back for Space Marines too, though. Like in a expansion or an update to the game. I wish they had added that faction back in, but it would have been a massive undertaking, I'm sure. I mean, having to create an entirely new faction of enemies to further terrorize. So yeah, I can understand why they didn't do that, and they just focused on making new maps and some additive to their already existing factions in the game. You know, I'll just take some ammo, why not? Just top it all off. More squigs. Yep. Alrighty. Crazy that they don't got that.
We need to get the shell into that loader.
Was that Sedonis or Leandros? I can't tell. It was Sedonis.
There. I will place the charge on that shell.
Nice. Alright, let's push that in there. So which one do you guys like the most? Do you like Space Marines 1 gameplay, or do you like Space Marines 2?
Make sure it reaches its destination.
Aye. Now back to the lift.
Because I definitely think though they are similar games, they play very differently from one another. At least the focus is a little different. I think those Gretchens got stuck. Let's help them out a little bit. So yeah, in case anyone's curious about the multiplayer is just as customizable as Space Marines 2's, but so the only difference, of course, is that it doesn't have enough armor styles and details. Like, it certainly doesn't have as many parts as Space Marines 2's multiplayer version does. Plus, I also feel like that with the multiplayer and this one, there aren't enough arena areas to really work with. Like, there's not enough maps. Operations mode certainly has a lot more maps and also has a bit more gameplay variety than just arena battles.
Hold on, Captain. Get me a medipack.
So if you get 4 people together instead of the usual 3 for this game's arena battles, it's a wild fun. It's a blast. I got a friend of mine to play with me, but we had to get like at least one other person to play with us, and a rando specifically, because otherwise it's really hard to play the arena game, the, what did they call it, the Exterminatus mode, with only 2 people. By yourself is basically a death sentence, but 2 people, it's somewhat manageable. But you still need that 3rd person, because otherwise you're kind of fucked. He just got disintegrated. He got reduced to his base particles. Which is pretty apt, because they are just fungi.
There, the secondary lift.
Alrighty. Anything else? No. Yeah, I gotta make sure that shell gets back into place. Everybody on board, let's go, let's go. You know, for as old as Adonis is, he only has so many studs in his head. Although given how scarred his flesh is, I imagine that maybe the studs got removed because of combat, but I have no idea. More purity seals. Marksman mode. Fury now allows to enter marksman mode. A way to slow down the combat to get off those perfect headshots when you're sniping. The money shots.
Then we put it back. Leandros, get the shell into that loader. I will cover you.
Now.
Yeah, Leandros. Get over there and pull that shell into place. Well, push it, actually.
Find cover, you lot.
Reloading.
Incoming fire.
Nice.
Incoming.
For a second there, I thought it was prompting me to throw it back. Squigs. I love it. Everything they make practically kills themselves half the time.
Enemy sighted.
God, I miss the orcs. This feels so good.
Hold the line.
Finally.
Agreed. Find an exit.
Alright, I guess we gotta get out of here now. Greetings from India. I hope you have a great time with the game and a wonderful week ahead of you. Thank you, Valabesh, if that's how you say your name.
The guardsmen will get their supplies now.
Captain Titus, you are a man of your word, my lord. Thank you.
What is your situation, Lieutenant?
We're gathering our wounded and are heading to the Andres habitation block to establish an outpost.
I hope you have a great weekend for you as well, and a week ahead.
My battle brothers and I must secure.
It's not a weekend, isn't it?
Warlord-class Titans.
Actually, what is today?
Good luck.
I forgot. I've been so busy as of the past few days. Emperor protects Thursday. Oh, thank you. You know, I was expecting a horde given how open this space is. I think I remember there being a horde here at one point, but I'm not seeing it right now.
That bridge is a testament to the might of the Imperium.
The Adeptus Mechanicus are masterful architects.
Their work outlived all of them.
It certainly did. How good are we on ammo? I could use something to top it off.
Lieutenant not say these tracks went to the complex housing the Titans?
That thing is a battering ram.
Look at those orcs feeding down there. And now they're not. They're taking cover. Kind of clever. I don't remember if they did that in the original or not. Squigs. Seems like a boss fight arena. These are too creative for a normal orc. Something fishy is going on. Yep, I would agree.
Has a deep wound to the arm. Signs of blood poisoning.
That's from an orc chopper. We can't stop him from going septic. Make him comfortable and move on.
You've seen these kinds of wounds before?
Unfortunately, yes. In my first orc invasion, which I hope will be my last. Right. Who's next?
God, I love the weapons in this game too. I forgot how good they are. When you haven't played a game in so long, you forget all of the good bits. And I don't remember the weapons being this fun. Whoa, I think that was a random squig. It almost murdered my ass. Alrighty. Oh, hi there. Wig jump scare. There goes that guy. Huh? Okay.
Never forget.
Titus running sounds like a freight train running on two legs. Yeah, that's true. So, my screen just went black all of a sudden, and then I died from whatever the hell. That was weird. I think that's the first glitch we've encountered in the game. Oh my god, all the way back here. Okay.
Now that bridge is a testament to the might of the Imperium.
The Adeptus Mechanicus are masterful architects.
Their work has
Mind you, at the time of streaming, this is still a fairly new game despite being a remaster, so there's gonna be a few bugs. So that one is certainly game-breaking.
Did the lieutenant not say these tracks went to the complex housing the Titans?
That thing is a battering ram.
There we go. Oh yeah, I agree. Too many squigs. Sorry to suffer with that. What was that bug? I have no idea. You just kind of have to roll with it. This stuff tends to happen. Whatever caused it before, let's just hope it doesn't happen again, or at least we don't do the same stuff that caused it to happen again. Squigs. That's such a funny name for these little creatures. Nice. Just sprints up this. Okay. Superhero landing.
Stop this ram. Time to impact.
No more than 6 minutes.
Time enough.
All right. And to think we were so close to the checkpoint too. Nothing in here? All right. My Space Marine 2 muscle memory came in and I pressed LB as soon as he tried to hit me. Thank God I did not actually throw a grenade, because otherwise that'd be problematic.
Consider us time to impact.
Less than 4 minutes.
Bolter fire cannot penetrate its armor.
These trains have point defense turrets. There'll be a heavy weapon ahead.
Forward then.
Turret sighted.
Cover me while I get to that weapon.
Plasma turrets. The parry or dodge. It was the parry. Playing Space Marines 2, I got used to doing the parry function in that game. So I almost inadvertently threw a grenade at the enemy that was going to try and melee my ass. Please remove this. Yes. Why can't I use the Fury mode? Am I doing it wrong? No, that's not what I want. Controller scheme. Oh, I don't see it anymore. Okay. No worries. I'll just try not to die. Huh? Oh. That was awkward. I'll take that. Actually, can I do it this way? Oh yeah, I had to drop it first. That figures. I'd have to drop it first. All right. Part 2, the Inquisitor. Atricus Western Gates.
The Manufactorum still holds.
Some Imperial Guard units made it here after all.
They cannot hold for long. We must hurry.
This place looks a lot better than I remember it. It certainly takes up a bit more of a... really more eye-catching.
What is that servo skull doing?
Trying to deliver a message. Must be damaged. The seal of the Inquisition. Interesting.
What is the Inquisition doing here?
We're about to find out.
This is Inquisitor Drogan. I need urgent assistance at Manufactorum Majakis. They're after the experimental device. The device is safe for the time being. I've drawn them off. But now I'm trapped. If I die, you must keep the device out of enemy hands.
GG, nicely done. Thank you.
I needed more time. I was nearly ready.
An experimental weapon.
We need to find the Inquisitor before the orcs do. Keep moving. Remain alert.
It's quite the slaughter here. Was this because of the train, or was it because it just turned into a madhouse over here? I'm gonna assume it was both, really. Both are likely.
Joining corpse removal crews at your designated evacuation center.
Captain, look. The orcs must be operating that crane.
They will not stop until they break through that gate.
We must disable that crane.
Sorry to interrupt the fighting, but I need you all to die. Purge the Xenos. Leave none standing.
Personal message cache. Guardsman Alexander. Today was a good day. Clearing a foundry of orcs. I heard a banging from inside the furnace. It's a good thing I throw grenades. Results from last year. Starting from scared and some it's still alive.
Oh, hi there. There we go. All of them? Nice. My brother, an emperor, what do you mean by the manufacturer holds? Do you mean it is not granted? That is a interesting point. Leandros will continue to question our orders throughout the entire course of the game. It's not even really a question at this point, it is just expected.
The control room.
Forward! Clear out the orcs.
Ow. Nothing sucks more than either sprinting or dodging into a wall or an invisible one, which that's more common than you might think.
We cannot allow that.
Anything else? Oh, yes. Ammo and more ammo. That's exactly what I needed. Burn the heretics, kill the mutant, purge the demons, and crush the Xenos. It is the will of the Emperor and the Imperium of Man.
Identify yourself.
No finer words have ever been said.
That is, my lord.
I need access to the Manufactorum, Corporal.
There is a service lift in the hangar directly below where you drop the cargo, my lord. We can meet you there.
Stand ready. We will be there shortly. Titus out.
A handful of guardsmen holding that huge gate. They cannot last long.
We did manage to bring the access bridge down.
So, Valabesh, what is your favorite Space Marine Legion, or chapter in this case? Is it a successor one, a first founding, a second founding? Do help either. Yeah, camera angles never seem to help. Mind you, there is a 20-second delay, but I'm sure you're probably aware of that. To keep its consistent quality, I gotta stream at an ultra-low latency. Especially for 1080 at 60 frames. Salamanders mostly. Oh, I see. They are certainly the nicer of all the Space Marine Legions. I'm more of a Blood Angels guy myself, but I think that's pretty basic given from what I understand. There's a lot of people who like Blood Angels. I also hear a lot of women like the Blood Angels as well. I mean, it's kind of appropriate. They're mostly, from what I understand, most of them are pretty boys, and they all wear really nice golden armor.
My lords, you must hurry. The greenskins are on the move again. If they find the access point we are using, we will not last long.
I just like their tragic backstory personally. And their Primarch's pretty dope. Because Sanguinius is the guy. Yeah, that's true. He is the guy.
The lift is this way.
I also just like tragic characters, personally. I'm just very into tragic backstories and characters that usually have those. It's kinda my sucker interest when it comes to writing conventions. Though I would not say that when it comes to women and my attraction to them, I am the kind of guy who likes to fix them. I like to leave damaged people where they are. Power axe, nice.
Antioch, hold the lift. We have orcs inbound.
Yeah, he did. Did the most noble acts despite most of his flaws. He was also good bros with Horus. I believe I even heard a story where he actually managed to calm down Angron, if you could fucking believe that shit. I was not trying to melee. I don't know why that happened. The power axe is so good. I kind of wish this made a return in Space Marines 2. Can you imagine a power axe in the hand of the Vanguard? That would be so fucking great. Even a chain... Even the chain axe would be nice, and oh my god, I am in trouble. Oof. God, that is so brutal. Yeah, it's so good to play this game again. Alright. They're all dead. We purged all the Xenos, as a Space Marine should. Angron did saw Sangi and immediately calmed down. He was that well put together guy. His nobility brought the best in people around him. Yeah.
Yes, my lord.
He definitely seems like the kind of guy.
Inquisitor is in the Manufactorum.
Yes, Lord Drogon. We have not seen him for several days.
The other, the VTuber who is... I'm trying to remember her name. I think it was Aurelius Tempest, I believe. She loves Sanguinius. She's a massive fan of Sanguinius, and she became a massive fan apparently because she saw a fan art of the guy, of him just smiling, and she's like, yep, that's my guy. That is my guy. Became a fan since.
Now have a viable approach from orbit.
What of the Colonel and his staff?
They did not survive.
That is why Horus Sanguinius might be the War Master, as he had the vision for the Imperium that would make it a noble empire. Yeah. I feel like, right, that there's definitely... I haven't read any of the books, but I would love to get into some of them. I'm primarily right. I want to see all the ones featuring the Primarchs, because I hear so many things about the Primarchs, but I never see much of their deeds outside of, like... outside of just, like, the things that I've heard about. Is why I'm getting into Horus Rising, and I'm reacting to it on the channel. It's because I'm very interested about the Primarchs and how they actually act and behave over the things that I hear people say how they act and behave, right? Because it's one thing to hear about, it's another thing to see it. It's also why I think a TV show focusing on the Primarchs would be really cool before the Heresy, but, you know, again, that's neither here or there. I can't expect Amazon to really get that done, or do that well at all either. Though, since Henry Cavill's still tied to the Amazon TV series, I imagine it's probably going to be fine. I mean, Henry Cavill left The Witcher, and he was a fan of that series too. Especially when it started going downhill. It was around the time when Henry decided to dip. So, it's kind of my baseline there.
Titan Invictus seems undamaged at least.
Titan Invictus seems unused, you mean? Is this invasion not enough to bring out the War Titans?
It takes hundreds to get a War Titan operational, Sergeant. Without them, it sits idle.
Any ammo lying around? Does not look like it.
Captain,
It's just a tragedy. Shows good Horus before the sort of corruption Erebus spread that led to War Master's downfall. That's good. I actually am interested to see that too.
Drogon. Order Xenos.
He's in this wing of the Manufactorum.
I read alien signals throughout the facility, and a large number converging on the Inquisitor's location.
I like the characterization of Horus Rising. Like, Garfield feels like such a really nicely well-established character, but he's just relatable and likable enough to be his own sort of, like, defined character. He's good for the protagonist role, I will say. And though I didn't understand the Remembrance introduction to that story in particular at first, I do like the way that they ended up using them in the first act of that novel series that they've released, and I can't wait to actually react to more of it. I just gotta find the time to do it.
When all the planetary defenses and the Skitarii stand between us and them.
First you don't believe there's an invasion, and now you're not worried about it at all.
Lilith, we have a far better chance of being killed on the assembly line than by a faraway orc.
Workers, take your stations. Be productive. Be dutiful.
I didn't mean to cut off that servitor dialogue there. All right.
Leandros, can you use this panel to contact our other forces?
No, just something sparking.
But I can boost Vox range.
Do it.
Okay. He just teleports in place.
Ultramarines chapter.
Here, Captain.
Ultramarines, this is Captain Titus.
Praise be to the young Messiah.
This is Sergeant Midas. Squad Solinus is on the ground and making for our objective.
New orders, Midas. We are at Manufactorum Ajakis and have located the Titan Invictus. I need Solinus to come secure the Invictus while I divert to a priority alarm.
On our way, Captain.
So,
Midas out.
in regards to the Adeptus Mechanicus, right? I know that their biggest meme, right, is that they like to screw toasters. But why toasters in particular? Like, out of all the things they could meme the Mechanicus for, why toasters in particular? Is it just because it's funny? Or is it just the idea of it? Or is it just because there was a story that focused on them finding old technology featuring a toaster? And then they got weirdly interested in it? I have no idea. I want to know why the meme is surrounding toasters and not anything else in particular. I don't know if there is an answer to that. I just think it's funny that it's just focused specifically on toasters.
Pipes. The orcs are in the pipes.
They're in the walls too. Don't forget that. They're technically anywhere they can fucking fit their giant asses into. Once you get them, you can't get rid of them. They're like a disease. Because it seems to be the most painful. Heat, electricity. Okay, I can see that. Kind of half expecting there to be an ambush, but I'm not seeing it. I kind of also have to remember sometimes that playing through this, that I also played it through a modded version on the original game, because I modded that thing to mess with weapon variety as well as the way that they handle, among other things, as well as enemy spawns.
Thanks to the tech priests. I've already begun my work to create a stable energy matrix. Harnessing these unorthodox energies is proving more promising than I could have dreamed.
War of the Beast, Imperium versus Orcs was very weird. Weird in what sense? Any visual mods? Not really, because it's hard to really do visual mods with the mods that I was working with. A lot of them ended up conflicting to kind of crash the game, so I was kind of light on visuals.
Prepare the power source for immediate release. Master, disregard all safety protocols and...
Inquisitor Drogon?
I am Drogon. And you are?
Captain Titus of the Ultramarines. We received your distress call, but you seem to have weathered the enemy's attack.
I am soldier and scientist, both, Captain.
What is the status of the experimental device?
It looks just as fucked up as he did in the original, that's for sure.
It's running the entire manufactorum from the generator room.
This device is a fuel source, not a weapon.
It is a complex device and an unstable one. If the orcs find it, they'll try and take it apart.
Not to mention, I couldn't get most of the visuals to work.
Force to destroy the entire planet.
Then we must move it to safety.
And for that, Captain, I need your aid. This way.
You are wounded, Inquisitor Drogon.
I'm a psyker. My psychic abilities are controlling the bleeding.
Very well.
I forgot this guy was a psyker.
Xenos life forms detected.
Since a delegation that spoke High Gothic, orcs demanded surrender. Yeah.
The orc himself.
There he is. It's the biggest and strongest orc. Yeah, I heard about that. How did Terra actually manage to fend off the oncoming wave of orcs? Because the idea, right, is that orcs are once you have orcs like invading a planet, it's really hard to get rid of them entirely. I imagine you would need a virus bomb to exterminate them like wholesale, because otherwise they just regrow from the fungi nonsense of their characterization. So then negotiation with humans was futile. It's weird that the orcs were the delegates in that situation. They're like, hey, surrender peacefully and maybe we won't kill you outright. That's a weird thing to consider.
Damnable creature! Had he not blundered onto this world?
But he did, Drogon.
recognized. Full access.
Oh, there we go. Plasma pistol. Been wanting that for a bit. Primarch Vulcan took in charge, burned so many stuff. Vulcan got nuked again in pure Wa essence. Yeah, that sounds about right. I know Vulcan has like a healing factor on the same level as fucking Wolverine, so that's not surprising.
Get to that lift.
Now he is missing again. Yeah. I believe the last time we've heard from Vulcan, he was falling to his doom through the atmosphere on Terra, I believe. After he escaped from Conrad in their last exchange during the Heresy.
My boys want to give you a proper greeting.
Oh, there's the shield type. Ow. There we go. Everybody in. Oh, there's a bit of stutter.
How much deeper does this facility go? The Manufactorum? Far deeper. The whole generator.
Oh, you know, we'll probably help with that.
above a venting shaft.
There we go.
Suspended.
Yes. In case of catastrophic overload, the whole room can be shunted away into the depths.
Let's see.
Yes, here we are. Colder than a space one's smile in here.
Watching,
Yes,
watching.
to the device's functioning.
Alright, connection is stable. Good. Let's see. Vulcan died into Makra, capital of Ultramar, landed in Gorilla Man's back garden. Vulcan perpetual. This is close to Emperor. Oh, I see. Was that the same battle where the Lion had basically tricked Gilliman into essentially nuking the surface of his homeworld a little bit? And it led to the death of his mother, I believe? Is that how the story went?
Captain Titus, proceed into the main chamber. We need only obtain the power source at the core of the generator. I will initiate decoupling from a control console.
Understood. Brothers, guard the access points.
Those are some big-ass ladders.
I have engaged the decoupling sequence, Captain. You must keep the chamber secure until the power source is exposed.
Identity confirmed. Drogon. Order Xenos. Warning. Primary containment fixture disengaged.
There. The primary shield is open, Captain. Head into the central chamber.
This is different. Gilliman's men took care of him while Vulcan was a charcoal statue with PTSD. Conrad attacked the Tarasha, Gilliman's mom.
Captain,
Ah.
the war boss.
Oh boy.
Hold back the greenskins, Captain. The power source will be free of the generator shortly.
All right. All right.
Now, head over to the servitor station and activate it. It will retrieve the power source and get it into its canister.
Gotta focus. Conrad threatened Tarasha Uton by saying Gilliman died and he is going to do bad stuff to her. Oh. That sounds complicated. I mean, with this setting, everything's complicated, but that sounds in particular complicated. Vulcan suddenly became cool aid man, broke into Gilliman's armory, wore whatever he could find, and shoulder-checked Kurz into another building. Sounds pretty badass, actually. We got the sauce.
Sidonus, Leandros, respond.
Captain, the Inquisitor insisted you could not have survived.
Well, I did, and I have his precious power source.
We set a rendezvous in Hab Center Andres.
Oh, there's lipstick into that.
Tunnels will spit us out there eventually.
Fine. Continue heading toward the Hab Center.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Good guy Vulcan always puts the civilians' lives first over everything else, and his Space Marine sons definitely do the same. There we go. Pretty sure I'm good on most other ammo. Yeah. Missed. The one Gretchen that remains. Cruz actually kills him again while tumbling down. Along Vulcan is a dozen rooftops. Yes, Vulcan. Give me 1 second to read that. Okay. Cruz actually kills him again while tumbling down along Vulcan, a dozen rooftops. He asks Vulcan to stay dead. Vulcan suddenly wakes up again and headbutts Kurz. Yeah, I heard he actually captured a Vulcan at one point and just tortured him. Like, he took him to his flagship and just straight up tortured him for a good long while until eventually, right, he had him go through a maze that was... I believe it was some type of maze where it was basically impossible to navigate, according to him, but he did eventually find his hammer, and then when he realized he couldn't teleport, he did the most badass thing he could do next, which is to slam that thing into the floor of the bulkhead, well, through the bulkhead, and right out into space, which led to him basically falling into the atmosphere. At least that's the story that I was told. Though this incident sounds like a different story. Maybe. Squigs. Squig jump scare. Yeah, bunch of frags. Merged into the wall. Well, the piping. Actually kills him. Hello, dear future adepts. Would you like to hear more about our Lord and Savior, the Omnissiah? Hi there, Arson. Nice to see ya. I mean, I'm always down to 40k lore and lore-related things. The Mechanicus have never really interested me in particular as a faction, but they do have some funny lore, I will say. Eesh. Whoa. I'm hitting the wrong button there. First captures Vulcan near nuke bombing during Istvan. 5 drop side massacres, captures Vulcan and tortures him in a maze made by Perturabo. Oh, if it's something about Perturabo, you know it's gotta be a good one then. The funny Martian engineers, yes, indeed, the funny Martian engineers. The people who refuse to innovate unless they are part of the Dark Mechanicus, in which case then they will innovate. They will innovate, much to the chagrin of the Imperium. Probably should check the other way, but I'll just keep going. I hear squigs, I see squigs. And now I see a dead squig. Vulcan gets his teleport hammer. Hi there. Vulcan gets his teleport hammer, Dawnbringer from the center of a maze after months of non-stop torture with little help with Kurz's face. I do remember, I think he did bash Kurz in the face with his hammer. I do remember hearing something about that. Most of that story was explained to me through Bricky's Adeptus Ridiculous podcast. And it's been a while since I heard it. And mind you, it was a summarized version of that story. Oh, a bit of lag, but oh well. Teleported himself by Gilliman's back garden, thousands of meters in the air. Yeah, I heard about that.
Adeptus Astartes recognized.
Or Meltagun.
Access granted.
Oh, it only takes the place of the Meltagun.
Even here, the
Oh well. The Vulcan Assault Pattern Meltagun. I gotta say, I'm not exactly a big fan of the Meltagun in this game. It's like a less impressive shotgun. Though I guess most of his damage is from up close and personal impact. Burned on re-entry, turned into charcoal statue with severe PTSD. I see, I see. So he actually is known, he does exist somewhere. Actually, he's just a grief-stricken, I guess. He basically turned into Subaru from Zero after that. After going through that one loop multiple times. Is my only frame of reference for how to best describe that.
We're almost out of sterile dressings. I haven't even begun to treat the new burn victims yet.
You can't treat them. Give them something for pain, but that is all.
I am a Magos Biologis. No wound or malady is beyond me.
You are in a triage situation. Observe, analyze, and decide who we can save.
Thinkers thought, you know what, I can attack Gilliman's mother since he is not on the planet. Bad for him, Vulcan was there. Worse, he was waiting for revenge. Oh, that sounds like an interesting story. Wait, so Gilliman's mother actually survived, or she didn't, or she actually died? I thought his mother died, but maybe she didn't. A lot of that story was stuff that I heard from third-party sources. Yes, but was way worse since Perturabo and Kurz was involved. Oh. Ha! You guys didn't make it. Actually, it kind of looked like these guys did make it. They just turned around. What? Alright, I'm confused now. Let's see. Seem to be good on weapons and among other things. Nice to have some dedicated lore enthusiasts in the chat. It's never this active.
Adeptus Astartes recognized. Access authorized.
Rasputin was alive till that story ends. Now in 40k, I have no idea. Got it. Superior Fury. Sweet. Use this to advantage to destroy the enemies of man. And now it basically runs out much more slowly. Nice. Okay. I'm getting a lot of lag. She was a good mother, but better than Urda. Better than Urda. I see. Whatever happened to Urda, by the way? Like, she was the woman who helped the Emperor make the Primarchs, right? And then, after the Primarchs went missing and got flown across the galaxy, what exactly happened to Urda? Or am I thinking of somebody else? Pretty sure that was Urda. Oh, Squigs. Nice. Just keep that narrowly. And Kroner Gilliman raised a Primarch Avatar of War into a well-disciplined leader. Erebus killed her during the siege of Terra. Oh. And knowing Erebus, that most likely was not the easiest death either, mind you. This is the same guy who played with scorpions and spiders by making them fight one another after having their fangs and stingers cut off. So, probably not great. Oh.
Captain Titus.
Well met, brothers. Any idea of our position?
We should be nearing an access point to the surface. The air smells a bit cleaner.
I've had enough of tunnels. Let's get out of here and find the Inquisitor before the orcs do.
Yeah, so let's get the fuck out of here. Very weak. Erebus taunted her and killed her. She banished several powerful demons, was very weak. Erebus taunted her and killed her. Damn. Squig jump scare. Always Erebus, yep. If it ain't Leandros, it's Erebus who takes first place as the most hateable Warhammer 40k character. And for good reason, honestly. I feel like Logar might be a close second, but to be fair, I think Lorgar's problem is that he was just abused as a kid. I feel like his is at least excusable, but still. Missed. I keep missing these shots with the plasma gun. My bottom of my socks was wet because of Erebus. That was weird. I shouldn't have stopped there.
At last, away to the surface.
Oh. It was running in a weird direction. I don't know what it is, but sometimes my controller cuts off for like a mere second, and then I'm just stuck in whatever direction or input that I was doing earlier. Lorgar was always an idiot and a coward, but ultimately got manipulated by Corferon and Erebus. Yeah, Erebus makes sense. Corferon, I'm not too sure about him. Wasn't Corferon his father? There's like a lot of characters to this setting, and I got a fan of it since, and I've been a fan of it since Space Marines too, so I'm not as in it as I would like to be.
Cruel, but effective.
To be fair.
For orcs, this was sport.
Medical supplies have been exhausted.
There's no room for them in the South Ward. Put them on the second level.
It's completely full. That's where I've been moving the dying.
That's it then. Bar the doors.
You're closing the infirmary.
We are being overrun. We must focus on the wounded already under our care. This is the only way. Take the servitors to keep the crowds back.
Yes. Okay. We got drop pods.
Millions more of them.
Our plan is unchanged. Get the Inquisitor and the power source off-world.
Titus, if they take over the Manufactorum, we will have a damnable time getting them out.
We are Ultramarines. Orcs are not a problem.
If we had a week, perhaps. But by then, the Orcs will have worked out how to dismantle the Titans.
Space Marine recognized.
Last cannon in place of them. Oh, yeah, why not? Las cannon. The Astartes man-portable las cannon fires a charged energy blast along a powerful laser and cut through almost any armor at extreme range. Yeah, this is a really nice gun to have in Space Marines too. It practically one-shots most enemies. Well, look, a new enemy. As if we needed more of those. It is really hard to see through this smoke. Nice. We're almost done here. Let's kill this guy and then we move on.
Evacuation Center Theta is no longer safe refuge. Remain calm.
The Xenos haven't left a single structure undamaged.
Or unblooded.
Worker absence is unacceptable. Transgressors face severe...
Report to Lord Sharp. The Fabricator General of Grya shares my vision for the power source. Today, offered up the Titan Manufactorum to test the device's capabilities. There is a risk that the power source may overload and destroy the entire facility. But it is an acceptable risk, and the Tech Priest does not need to know.
Alrighty. Oh, another one.
I'm surprised you showed up. There's no one here.
I didn't know where else to go.
Workers, assemble.
People are saying the Skitarii are dead.
I think people are right.
The increase in worker absences has been noted. Delinquent workers will be disciplined.
Caleb, what are we gonna do?
At least it's not Tyranid invasion. Orcs have the decency to have funny English accents. That is true. That's one of the fundamental reasons why I miss them in Space Marines 2. It's because you can't talk to Tyranids. They only nom nom nom. It's the only thing they know how to do. That's a tech heresy. Agreed. But nobody said that the Inquisitors had to play by the books. In fact, Inquisitors love to fly by the seat of their own pants. They kind of like to get away with a lot of stupid shit. They just don't have as much leeway about it as rogue traders do. Speaking of which, I can't wait for Dark Heresy to eventually make its appearance. It's made by Owlcat, the same people who made Rogue Trader. And Rogue Trader's pretty good after some of their updates too, so it's going to be interesting to see how Dark Heresy turns out. It's going to be fully voice-acted, all of the dialogue. So that gives me some interesting sort of like a... I wouldn't say hope, but it definitely adds a certain appeal to it. Let's see. I kind of want to keep the las gun, but... I can't trade any of these weapons, can I? Oh, wait. I can trade this for the Melta. But I don't want the Melta. Nah, I'll keep the Vengeance Launcher. It's just too good. I moved. That's not what I was trying to do. Oh. Yeah, this is one of the main problems with having it be the LB button. Is that you're going to end up throwing your nades whether you like it or not by accident. Release version of Rogue Trader was bad, now it is good. Hope they keep up the good bits of the game in the sequel. That is true. I'm not sure how bad the release version was, but the version that I played was... I didn't hate it. I thought it was alright. It's another CRPG. Like Baldur's Gate. But it's just like, I'd say it's like baby's first Baldur's Gate, really. It's not... The gameplay isn't as in-depth, at least the mechanics aren't as in-depth as Larian Studios' Baldur's Gate game, but, you know, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think simplicity oftentimes is for the best. That is a lot of melee people. That is a lot of problems. Yeah, get him, Leandros. Make yourself useful for once and stop questioning my orders.
Benjamin, plans have changed. Hannah hasn't returned. I think they're going to close off that whole stratum. I have to get to her. You'll be back from the food depot before we are. Tell your mother where I am when she arrives. And both of you, stay there. Pack up the food as best you can. Reports are that the orcs have already reached the manufacturer. We'll need to leave as soon as we're together. I'll be home soon.
Oh. Uh-oh. Guys, I'm having the bug again. My screen went black. And I don't know why. I don't think there's a way to fix this, is there? Bugs and glitches. UI and interface was unhelpful for calculating accuracy and damage. Had to do math with equations from the game. Ah, I see. You know, speaking of bugs and glitches... I don't think there's a way to fix this because I can't access the actual graphic settings from this.
Blood of martyrs is the seed of the Imperial.
It just fucking kills you. That's funny. People did math on paper for a computer game. Yeah, no, that does sound like some heresy there. That sounds like video game heresy to me. Oh no, that's fine. I love the original game, so I'm not... And with this... Oh, we're back here. And with this being recently released, I'm expecting a few bugs and glitches here and there. Like, if it was just me in my own time, I have no problems with it whatsoever. Streaming, it kind of gets in the way, but I'm willing to work with it. It's not like you're a developer of the game either, so you don't need to apologize for it. Unless you are a developer, in which case, that's actually pretty... I'm not sure how to feel about that. Oh boy. It is worth dying for. I like the quotes, too. My first death, and it's because I'm not paying too much of attention. Alright, let's work. Let's lock in. But yeah, if you're like a developer, that's a different story. I mean, again, still applies. I like the game. You don't have to apologize for bugs, because bugs happen. Oof. You know, it's just actually a good point to make too, because if anybody watching this is a developer of the game, you know, any criticisms should just be, you know, it's just worth acknowledging. It's not worth taking to heart. You know, just because I get criticized at my own job for not doing the best or stellar of job, making sure that I do everything properly, you know, like, I don't expect people... There we go. Anyways, like I'm trying to say, I don't do every job at in my own life perfectly, especially not streaming, so, you know, I wouldn't take any criticism to heart. I just, you know, take it as is and just move on. You know, just take everything in stride and just work on it. Oh. It happened again. I am not intelligent enough to be a dev. Well, that goes for the both of us. Even though I actually went to even though I did take courses to actually be a developer. I could not get into the programming knowledge of it. It kind of got in the way of me wanting to do other things. It also was just too trying for me. My plebeian mind could not handle it. Alright, I am kinda stupid. I'll be the first one to admit that I am kinda dumb. Alright, I am a goddamn imbecile. Yeah, it keeps bugging. I'll try and get through this section in particular just a little quicker. Maybe that way I can get away around that nonsense. Now, Rogue Trader has updated its user experience for proper accuracy, damage values show in game, has good amount of voice acted lines, and nice DLCs. I agree. I wasn't particularly taken with some of the story added DLCs, like the one where you actually get what was it, Cabela into the group, but you know, I like the idea of it more so. I like what it introduces. I like what it adds to the experience, right? This is why I like this gun. It's the big fuck-off gun. Please do not join EA, Ubisoft, Riot, or Take-Two. They destroy their devs. Oh, no. No. Fuck no. I am not going to be a developer. I had thought about it. I was going to strike out indie, mostly with a colleague, a friend of mine. And that didn't really end up panning out. But, yeah, no. I'm not going to work for a AAA studio. Fuck that shit. Alright, I don't know how many of you people actually know anything about me on this channel, but I hate AAA game companies. You know, I have many criticisms. As someone who's been playing games since the 90s, since I was 5 fucking years old, I can certainly tell you with absolute certainty that you should stay away from AAA games in their entirety. At least nowadays, because they're all dog shit. They're just straight up dog shit. Not all of them are dog shit. You know, we get some outliers like Baldur's Gate, among other things, by Larian Studios, but even they had to kind of fund most of that project themselves. You know, Stellar Blade might be AAA, arguably, considering that, you know, it's made by a prominent developer. But I was generally, as a rule of thumb, just keep away from AAA games. They're all terrible. And they're trying to nickel and dime you more so nowadays than they typically should allow in most games today. Please do not join. Okay, that's not bad. Yeah, and I couldn't tell you. I mean, Ubisoft literally cannot help but release slop on the daily. And then, if they're not trying to homogenize most of their titles, right? Activision can't get away from, you know, workplace controversies, among other things, and also releasing the same fucking game multiple times ad nauseum. I mean, they're basically kind of worse than Ubisoft when it comes to Call of Duty in that venture. And then EA, well, I mean, I would like to bitch and complain about EA. It's my favorite subject, but Andrew Wilson hasn't actually released anything that's worthy of bitching about. Or actually giving him props for, too, mind you. So, yeah. Fuck AAA. I think I shot that guy in the ass. Stellar Blade was made by a gacha dev, but studio did not fire them after game release or reduce their wages. Yeah, that seems to make sense. I would imagine the Korean devs would have a better work, or at least would have, I wouldn't say better, arguably, right, they'd have better business sense than Western developers.
A remarkable feat, but I've not forgotten my true.
And yeah, it's made by Shift Up. It's made by the same people who made Nikkei.
Defeating the alien horde. Now I will use the power source in a weapon that exploits the very weaknesses of our alien foe.
Which I do have my first stream of Stellar Blade up on the channel if you want to go take a look at that afterwards as well. Or just right now. It doesn't bother me whatsoever if people want to go take a look at that instead of watching me do this. I will release the VODs also on the channel at some point here. So, that's something to look forward to. ABK went downhill after Mr. Kotick was put in charge. Absolutely. I feel like that's when things really started going downhill, was when Bobby Kotick was put in charge. Andrew Wilson was also another great example of that shift too, because he's the genesis for why most games suck today. Like, just straight up. Like, if there was a guy who I could argue would have the most punchable face in America, it's that guy. Andrew Wilson is just a fucking piece of shit. At least for me, because he ruined everything that I liked as a kid. So for me, at least, he's on the top tier list of, like, the most punchable fucking faces in Western game development.
Crematoria 15 to 48 are operating at full capacity.
I should also preface, because I know it's probably going to be seen as such, I am not inciting any type of violence or anything towards anybody mentioned in the stream. I'm just simply stating, right, some people they kinda are assholes, and they have terrible business practices, and you should not actually do that. Mr. Wilson was the FIFA guy. Yes, he was. He's also why sports games suck now as a result.
Still alive.
That is a good question.
Conducts warp energies.
The stuff of chaos. Heresy.
My work against the Xenos has the Imperium's blessing.
Can your blessed work help us against the Orcs?
My research is of the utmost secrecy. The Imperium forbids its use without sanction.
Consider that your Imperial sanction.
Very well. The power source fuels an experimental weapon at my research facility. The Psychic Scourge. It could destroy the Orcs.
You didn't think to bring up this Scourge weapon before?
The Psychic Scourge has never been test-fired, Sergeant. If it malfunctions, it could crack this planet in half.
We're out of options. We fire the weapon and take our chances.
The psychic scourge.
Things are getting serious.
My research laboratories.
We made EA Sports into casinos. Yep.
We will need transportation.
Captain, we aren't far from the plaza where Lieutenant Mira was heading. The Imperial Guard rally point.
They will have Valkyries. We can fly to the research facility. Let's find this Imperial Guard outpost.
I'm sorry for the loss of your favorite sports games. NFS has Battle Pass now. No worries. I was never a big fan of sports games anyways, but yes. F's for all the people in the chat who absolutely love sports games. You know, you guys have a raw, because you can't even hope for another company or studio to pick that shit up because they have exclusive licensing for that kind of crap. Which, by the way, that's another interesting point, you know. Fuck people who do that. Especially Warner Brothers, because they decided to do that with game mechanics as well. Nintendo also did that with Pokemon, apparently. So yeah, fuck companies who do that shit. Hey, Warner Brothers, when are we gonna get another game that utilizes the Nemesis system? Oh, wait a minute. Never. Absolutely never. Because they have yet to do anything since Shadow of Mordor. Or Shadow of War in particular. Because that was the last game that in that franchise. It's the Cadians. Save the Cadians. Protect them at all costs. Oh, there's a good fucking berserker right there. Oof. That is absolutely nailing me right now. Oh, the slow motion kill cam is pretty nice too. What about the upcoming Wonder Woman game? Didn't they say that it had Nemesis system like in it? Oh, did they? I wouldn't know because I haven't heard much about it. But if it has that, hopefully it actually turns out to be good then.
Inquisitor Drogon's alive. I can't believe we survived.
They were going to originally add the Nemesis system into a Batman game, which ended up not panning out. Or am I wrong again? No, I mean, you might be right. You're probably more informed on that subject than I am.
Brothers, take him to the Valkyries. I will draw the orcs off and meet you there.
Give the power source to the sergeant then, Captain.
No, Drogon. The orc chieftain wanted the power source. When his orcs see I possess it, not you, they will follow me. Move out.
Which route to the rally point, guardsman?
Bastion Primus is that way, my lord. But it's all orc hell territory.
No, I can't go this way? No, I guess not. Invisible walls! Gotta love them.
Do not bring personal possessions to public evacuation centers.
We're getting into my next favorite section, because it has the jetpack again. Yes, there it is! Sorry to say, but the Wonder Woman video game has been canceled as part of Warner Bros. Discovery's decision to shut down 3 of its gaming studios, including Monolith Productions, which was developing the game. Monolith was also the same people who simultaneously were who had made the Shadow of War and Mordor games, so That's both disappointing to hear and sad at the same time. My bad. No, it's fine. If anything, it's good that we now know this, because now we have more reasons to bitch at Warner Brothers about their terrible business practices. You know, just like I keep a small laundry list of journalists and game journalists in particular whose opinions I don't really trust or give too much of a shits about, you know, you should start building a bit of a laundry list of all of the terrible, stupid business practices and decisions that gaming companies do, because honestly, at this point, we need to keep track of this shit, because we might start getting a little too comfy, right? EA seems to be exercising the idea, right, of like, we'll just stay out of the public limelight for a while, and maybe people will forget about our problems. I don't want to forget about their problems. I want to remember all of the terrible things that they did, so I don't get surprised when they pull that shit on me next time. Fuck 'em.
Go to Hab Block 74. We're going to gather with others from our shift group. We have your things. Come find us. Stay.
The only problem with the power hammer is that I can't use my other weapons as a result of having the hammer. I do remember that. Oh, that's my favorite one, but it was slightly obscured by that. Monolith Fear 1 is one of the best horror games. It's one of the best horror FPSs. Its AI was revolutionary. I tried playing Fear 1, but I never got fully into it. I never actually got into Fear, though I am a horror game fan. Maybe I should look into that. Ah, yes, pattern recognition. Indeed. I am getting into some of these comments in a little bit later, so I already mentioned that, but yeah. I will definitely give Fear a look, too. Maybe I'll even stream that on the channel if you guys prefer. If not, it might be nice to at least make it into VODs. I know my VODs get more views than my actual streams, so... I'm already full on ammo. Yeah, I can't use the other ones. You think they shadow those out so you don't get that mistaken.
The greenskins are swarming your way, leaving our path open.
Less chance of getting disappointed if you know where it is from. That is true.
To Lord Sharp, the
So very true.
integrating the power
You
source
understand the
makes this weapon
game.
far more devastating to the alien biology than I'd envisioned. My lord, I believe that this weapon, this psychic scourge, could end the alien threat against the Imperium for all time.
Yeah, it's ultimately why I feel so dull playing games nowadays, because the fun is sucked out of them now. I think that's the main reason why I don't feel as good playing games like I used to back when I was a kid. Because they're just not built to be fun anymore. They're just kind of money... They're just cash grabs. They are designed to make money. There's nothing revolutionary, experimental about them, or even just something made for the purposes of just being fun and engaging.
I say we stay here. This factory is a far better place than the Hab blocks to make a last stand.
You're no Skitari, Caleb.
Workers, alert. Xenos presence detected. This is not a drill.
There we go. There's my favorite animation, unmitigated by the bullshit.
You are not going to die today.
God, I love this hammer.
Place where we can hide.
Get fucked. Let's go. Modern games became... Ah. Oh, hi there. I guess I gotta kill the psyker now. Nice. Good, where'd he go? Oh. There he is. Hi, damn you. Oh, there we go. And they all just spontaneously combust, just like in the original. Let's see. Fear 2 and 3 are more action than horror. Fear 1 is the Ju-on Grudge Ring Japanese horror. 2 and 3 are American horror. I see. Modern games became a chore. Pay more to play less. Brilliant. Indeed. I'm assuming the brilliant was about the hammer and all the gory kills. I do appreciate the hammer a lot. But yes, good to know. It sounds like Silent Hill then. It sounds like Fear went the way of Silent Hill. Because Silent Hill is the same problem, only instead they just kept trying to bank on already established trends in Silent Hill from 2 onwards, which is kind of annoying. Is there anything over here? You know, speaking of Silent Hill 2, the remake was also pretty good too. Though I have not played the original, I feel like the remake of 2 was pretty awesome. The story is at least gripping. It kept my attention all the way through, and it kept me wondering. And there's multiple endings too, which makes it even more interesting. Axe or hammer, which is better? For me at least, I love hammer. I love anything that just has a lot of impact and power behind it.
I have arrived on Graia to begin my research. This work could change the course of history. I would be a fool to leave no record. The Imperium must not forget the good I have done. But these journals will remain sealed.
Yeah, it's just like Silent Hill, Resident Evil, etc. Yeah.
The truth that could damn me.
Oh, got stuck there. Oof. I am hitting the ceiling right now, too. There we go. Oof. Alright, where are those guys? Is that you? Yeah, it's one of you. Die. All of you must die. Death from above. Kill 25 enemies with the ground pound. SH1 and 2 are great story-driven horror games. Good environmental storytelling. Atmosphere. Yeah. I agree. Everything that I've heard about Silent Hill 1 and 2 originals were very much on the lines of, like, they were both solid experiences, and the best part is that there wasn't a whole lot of continuity between the two games, because they were all self-contained stories that focused on different types of horror, which is kind of nice. Oh, there's Acadians. Okay. Anything else around here worth taking an interest in? Of note? Whoa. That was weird. There we go. There's nothing up here, is there? Nope. Just the cathedral.
What took you so long?
I saw them. The orcs are in the loading bays.
With a servitor skull.
Why are you blocking the door? This room isn't safe enough. We have to go, Caleb.
Workers, evacuate. Xenos detected. Your safety is not guaranteed.
It's too late, Lilith. There's nowhere to run.
Up, up, and away.
We are within sight of the Imperial Guard bastion.
Nothing like it's stuck in the doorway. That was one benefit of the lock-on, is that you don't have that awkward moment where you swing away from your enemies. Though I hardly ever used it when I was using mouse and keyboard controls for Space Marines 2. And man, I'm getting nailed. These guys in operations, well, not operations, but in Exterminatus mode are also just as worse. Nice. Ah, there he is. Hi there. There we go. Glorious slaughter. I'm making my way up to that achievement bracket. Really sorry, but I have to sleep now, work tomorrow. I will catch your VODs later. I wish you a wonderful week ahead. Thank you. Nice of you to be here and keep me company. I usually don't have someone like that, so I appreciate it. Alright. I think that's everything around here. There aren't any collectibles in this area, I believe. Memory serves. I don't think I'm able to get out of here. Nope. Let's see. I guess we'll move on to the objective then. And off we go.
Out of fuel.
Convenience.
This is Primus Command. Orcs inside the perimeter. Move to secondary defense positions and hold the line.
Welcome to Bastion Prime, Scout. Sergeant Sedonis briefed me about the Inquisitor and his doomsday weapon. He said you require air transport to the Calcus.
My legs.
Your Valkyries are the fastest way to reach it. We have no time to spare.
Your men are already on board their Valkyrie, and the squadron's ready for liftoff. We'll get you to Calcus with all speed. It's time the Imperial Guard brought the fight to the Orcs.
Nice. I'm gonna need to readjust the way my model is currently malfunctioning, because it seems to track into a little off. Alright, and we're moving on to part 3. This seems like a great time to kind of just kind of relax a little bit here. I am going to go use the bathroom, get a snack, and I should be back within a few minutes, hopefully. And so with that, I will be right back. I shall see you all later. Hopefully, no time flat. One